Halloween isn't enthusiastically celebrated here in Paris. It's so weird coming from the US where there is no escape from the festivities. But that's okay. This is the city of love, but also home to some mysterious legends. The year is 1925, in the middle of what the French call les années folles, the crazy years, a cultural rebirth after the First World War. If you're American, think roaring 20s. French women are going girl boss, dressing androgynous, and participating in homosexual activities. Love that for them. Men are still wearing frock coats, but they had gradually shortened over the last few decades. Stay with me. That comes into play in a second. Music, particularly classical music, was flourishing. Debussy was gaining notoriety after his recent passing. Stravinsky was in his prime. Now our protagonist, Jean Romier, had a passion for classical music, especially Mozart. He was a huge Mozart fan. He loved listening to renditions, but he was also a 24-year-old medical student, a bit strapped for cash. Concert tickets were expensive, so instead he spent his free time
here in Jardin de Luxembourg. It is a very pretty park, I must say, and it's free, so it wasn't and still isn't uncommon for students to visit the area. One day, Romier was sitting on one of these benches and he was approached by a man in a long frock coat. This outfit is a little old-fashioned, but the man did seem a little older than Romier, so he shrugged it off. Boomers, am I right?
The man introduced himself as Alphonse Berrier. He seemed friendly enough, and they turned out to have a lot in common. Romier talked about his love of Mozart and how he wanted to go to concerts but didn't have the money. Funnily enough, Berrier is a classically trained musician. He's also hosting a little chamber concert at his apartment this Friday, and Romier is invited.
So a few days pass, Friday comes, and Romier heads to Rue de Vaugirard, where we are now. Not sure which apartment, but troisième étage. Gauche. Berrier opens the door, introduces Romier to his family, and gives a little tour of the apartment.
Like his frock coat, Berrier's apartment seems a little old-fashioned. The entire family is charming, warm, and welcoming, but Romier feels a little out of place. He can't quite figure out why he has a weird feeling in his stomach, but he gets along well regardless. And even though this family claims to be amateur musicians, they played near perfectly. Some top hits include Stradella, Gemignani, and of course, Mozart. At the end of the concert, Madame Berrier serves refreshments and some of the group take a smoke break. Romier joins them, showing off a little golden lighter that his mother gave him for his birthday. This leads to talking about his family, about how he's studying medicine like his father. They talk more about music, but they also talk about religion, spirituality. Romier feels at home with the Berrier family. The night seems perfect. I miss nights like these.
But as always, midnight comes and goes, and Romier doesn't want to overstay his welcome. He says goodbye, heads out, and pulls out another cigarette for his walk home. As he's reaching in his pocket for his little golden lighter, he realizes he left it inside. He goes back up to le troisième étage, gauche, and knocks, but no one answers.
He left this place moments ago, so you would expect to hear some residual chatter through the door, but it was silent. He knocked again, no answer. He knocked a third time. The neighbor came out in his pajamas. A little cranky, the neighbor asks why he's knocking so aggressively. Romier explains that he spent the evening with the bears and he left his lighter inside. The neighbor's face flushed pale. That can't be. Monsieur Berrier has been dead for almost 20 years. His great-great-grandson owns the apartment, but no one has actually lived here since then. He calls the great-great-grandson, the police, and Romier's father.
So now we have the whole gang here. Romier wants everyone to believe him, so before they go inside, he describes the decor of the entryway. A huge painting, a marble console.
They open the doors, and sure enough, he's right. But not even an hour earlier, there was so much life, and warm lights, and a party. Now it was dark and cold. A thin blanket of dust covered the room, and it smelled a bit moldy. Romier then describes the chamber concert room. A black piano on the right, a harp on the left. They walk into the next room and that's exactly what they see. Everyone except Romier starts eyeing each other, confused. But before anyone can comment, Romier points at a portrait on the wall and says, "That's Monsieur Berrier." The great-great-grandson confirms this. He points out another portrait and another, describing their lives in great detail. That's Marcel, he was a law student, and this is Andre, he's preparing to enter into the Naval Academy. The great-great-grandson confirms every single one. At this point, they don't know what to do. They start to leave, and the neighbor points out something glimmering on the dusty side table. A little golden lighter. The story is allegedly in police archives. Some people suspect delusions, or just sheer luck. It was also speculated in the scientific community, dealing with the concept of time. And we all know how reliable internet quotes are, but allegedly, this case caught the attention of Albert Einstein. He was attributed to say, "This young man stumbled in time, the way others miss a stairway."
There have been a few reports here and there of a man in a long black frock coat roaming around Le Jardin de Luxembourg. If you see him, strike him up for conversation. Ask him if he likes Mozart. As always, thank you for watching, and remember to eat your veggies.